Okay, guys, today's lesson is Chapter 1, Lesson 4, and that is on PEMDAS, the order of operations. Okay? Now, it's important that we know the correct. If the computer's going through a little glitch right now, don't worry, it'll come back up in a second. Okay, so the correct order of operations is parentheses first, exponent second, then multiplication or division, depending on if it's both in the equation, then you're going to work the left to right third. That's third. Okay. Then addition and subtraction are last, fourth. Okay. If you have both addition and subtraction, just like multiplication and division, in one problem, then you work left to right. Next. I'm sorry, guys. Back to this for a second. Write this all down. I want you to write lesson 1.4. I want you to write the objective. I want you to write the vocabulary. Okay, so if you need to pause here, pause, write it down. I'm going to the next slide. Here, I don't want you to write example 1 or using the order of operations. All I want you to write is letter A, 2 plus 12 divided by 3. Underneath that, now what do we do first? We have addition and we have division. If you look back at your last screen, what's first in the order of operations? Addition or division? Division is. So we're going to divide, we're going to divide first. So we have division. I want you to write down everything I highlight. If I'm highlighting, you're writing. Okay? Divided by 3, 12 divided by 3 is what we do first. And I want you to write the word division. Then I want you to write next. What's next? 2 plus 4 is next. And then we do the addition. I want you to write that. And I want you to write 6. Now you might want to make these pen marks that I'm going to be making, but that's up to you. I just want to explain where these numbers came from. Okay? So 12 divided by 3 obviously came from here since I'm doing the division first. Okay? So 12 divided by 3 came from here. Now, what is 12 divided by 3? Well, that's 4. So that's where this 4 came from. And if you want to know where the 2 came from, the 2 was always here. Okay? So that's where this 2 came from. So now I have 2 plus 4, and that answer is 6. All right? Next, I want you to write letter B. 4 times 3 squared, or 4 times 3 to the second power. Okay? What do we do first? First, we're going to do those exponents, because if you look back at screen 1 for your order of operations, what comes first, exponents or multiplication? Exponents come first. So let's take care of that first. So for the exponents, the exponent is 3 squared. I want you to write that down as well. Hold on one second. I have a bit of an issue. Okay. The exponent is 3 squared. I want you to write that down. And I want you to write down the word exponents. Next, we're going to take care of 4 times 9. And that is the multiplication that comes next. Now you might be asking, where did that 4 come from? Where did that 9 come from? Let me explain that. 3 squared means 3 times 3. That's what that means. That's what you should be thinking in your head when you see 3 squared. And 3 times 3 is 9. So this is the 9. Where did the 4 come from? We're back here to this 4. And we're just rewriting it here. That's where it came from. And now what is 4 times 9? 36. So make sure you write down also that 36. Okay? Again, I don't want you to write example 2 or using the left to right rule. What I want you to write is letter A, 6 times 3. Okay? All right. Letter A, 6 divided by 3 times 5. Okay? I want you to write 6 divided by 3 times 5. Now this time I have division and multiplication. So, since I have both and they are of equal importance, not one of them is more important than the other, I have to work this problem left to right. So reading it left to right, what do I have first? I have 6 divided by 3 first. So that's what I'm going to do first. So I want you to write that down. Divide first. Where did I get the 6? Where did I get the 3? Obviously from up here in the problem, okay? Now next, I'm going to multiply the 2 times 5. Where did that 2 come from? That came from 6 divided by 3 is 2. And where did that 5 come from? Up here in the problem, 5. So I'm multiplying times 5, and 2 times 5 is 10. And I need you to write that, and don't forget to write multiply here. That's what you're doing, you're multiplying. On the next screen, I want you to write B, 7 minus 5, plus 8 minus 4. So here I have subtraction, addition, subtraction. Well, addition and subtraction are of equal importance, so again, you're going to work this problem left to right. So we're going to do what's on the left first. Okay, so 7 minus 5 comes first, and that's subtract first. What is 7 minus 5? Well, that's what that 2 came from. 7 minus 5 is 2. Okay, where did this 8 come from? It came from up here, plus 8. So that's what we wrote here. So you're going to write this also, 2 plus 8. And write add. Now what is 2 plus 8? Well, that's where this 10 came from. 2 plus 8 is 10. Where did the 4 come from? Well, here I have minus 4. And that goes there now. Okay? So you're going to write down 10 minus 4, subtract, and 10 minus 4 is 6. Okay? So again, you don't have to make my pen marks unless it helps you, but you do need to write everything that's highlighted. Again, you don't have to write example 3, evaluating with grouping symbols. Just write letter A and what comes after it. Okay? So letter A, 3 plus 4 times 2. By grouping symbols, what do we mean? Hopefully you thought parentheses. Yes, we mean parentheses. So we have to do the parentheses first because that is the correct order of operations. So what is in the parentheses? Addition, 3 plus 4. So that's what we have to do first. And what is 3 plus 4? 3 plus 4 is 7, which is where this 7 came from. Where did this 2 come from? Came from here, the problem, times 2. And what is 7 times 2? 14. So you should have written down 7 times 2 and 14. And multiplication was next. Letter B. What do we have here? We have division, we have multiplication, we have subtraction, and we have parentheses. So what do we do first? The division, the multiplication, the subtraction, the parentheses. If you're looking back at screen 1, your order of operations, or your notes, your vocabulary, the order of operations says that parentheses first. So, since parentheses are first, what's in the parentheses is here. So we're going to do, whoops, excuse me, we're going to do 5 times 3 minus 7, parentheses first. Now, within the parentheses, I actually have 2 different operations. I have multiplication and I have subtraction. Well, if you look back at your order of operations, what comes first? You can't just work left to right. You have to make sure you know what comes first. Multiplication comes first. So first we're going to multiply 5 times 3, and we get 15. And it's right here, okay? And then my minus 7 is written here. So that becomes 15 minus 7, right? And that was when I did the multiplication. Now I'm going to subtract 15 minus 7, and that gives me 8. So 15 minus 7 is 8. And I divide. So 15 minus 7 was my subtraction. Now I'm going to divide by 8. That's my last thing. Where did I get this 8 from? It came from right here. And 8 divided by 8 is what? Again here, I just want you to write the letter. Okay? So, you're going to write letter A, another example. 14 minus 6 times 2. I have subtraction and multiplication. What do I do first? You should have said multiplication, right? Since I do the multiplication first, that's what I have to say first when I'm creating a verbal phrase to go with that expression. A verbal phrase means something I say. So I can't say here the difference of 14 and 6 and the product times 2. No, that doesn't work because that's not what you do first. What we do first here is multiplication. Since multiplication comes first, we have to say the product of 6 and 2. We have to say the numbers that we're multiplying. So since we're multiplying 6 and 2, we have to say the product of 6 and 2. And now we're going to mention the subtraction. What comes next? We subtract 14. So the product of 6 and 2, that answer is going to get subtracted from 14. Okay, so you should have that written down. So we're going to do the multiplication first. 6 times 2. 6 times 2 is 12. And then we're going to do the subtraction second. Okay? Again, if you want to know where we got the 14 from, came from up here in the problem. Okay? 14 minus 12 is 2. And that's our final answer. So now we have the next problem, and it's the same, 14 minus 6 times 2. However, now you have the parentheses around two of the numbers, 14 and 6. So there's a grouping symbol now. So that grouping symbol, or parentheses, means now that you have to do that first. So in the other problem in A, when we were working on this one, letter A, notice how 14 minus 6 times 2, there are no parentheses. So you had to do the multiplication first. Now you have the same problem, but you do have the parentheses, so now you have to do the subtraction first. So we're going to word this one differently. So I want you to write, yes, write again, the 14 minus 6 times 2 here, and then write the next phrase as well, but now you're going to say the difference of 14 and 6 first before you say the product, right? So we're going to say the difference of 14 and 6, because that's going to be done first, and then that's going to be multiplied by 2. So now actually solving the problem, 14 minus 6 is first, parentheses first. 14 minus 6 is 8, so that's where this 8 comes from. And this multiplied by 2 comes from up here, writing that. And 8 times 2 is 16. So you are writing 8 times 2 multiplied, and then our answer is 16. And again, if you need to make the same pen marks that I make, that's fine, go ahead and do that. So here we are at guided practice. So the first one, the product of 4 and 3 subtracted from 18. So, first, what do you think we do, multiplication or subtraction? Hopefully you said multiplication using the order of operations. So we're going to do this 14 times 3 first. Make sure you write this down. 14 times 3 is 12. And then 18 minus 12 is second. Subtraction second. And we have 6. Next one. Try that on your own first. Pause it. Try this on your own. And then you can play it again to see if you got the right answer. Okay? So we have division as well as addition. Division comes first, so we're going to divide first. 48 divided by 6 is 8. And then our addition comes next. 8 plus 3 is 11. Twelve plus 6 divided by 2. Here we have parentheses in division. So hopefully you were able to pause the video and see what we did first was the parentheses. And then the division. And 18 divided by 2 is 9. Now if you remember from last year in pre-algebra, working down this way in a downward direction instead of across to the right is much easier for me to see to correct your work and for you to remember each step. Okay, drawing these arrows down helps you remember the steps better. Okay? So here when you're looking at what we have here, we have 3 different operations. We have addition, we have exponents, and we have subtraction. So if you go back to page 1 of your vocabulary, you'll be able to see which one we do first using PEMDAS. So parentheses first, but there are no parentheses. Exponents, excuse me, and we do have exponents. So we have 4 squared. Remembering your lesson of powers and exponents. What does this mean? This 4 squared means 4 times 4. So we're going to do that first. 16. Bring this 12 down. Addition. Minus 3. Now we have addition and subtraction. Now addition and subtraction are of equal importance. So we just work the left to right rule. And I'm going to write that here so that you remember. Left to right rule. So on the left first, 12 plus 16, 28, minus 3. 28 minus 3, 25. So you can check your work, make sure you got that correct. I'm going to skip this one for now. Actually, I'm just going to skip it completely. Just remember, actually, let's look at it and you can just say out loud to yourself, what do we do first? Parentheses, what do we do second? Exponents. And here, what do we do first? Parentheses. Within the parentheses, as you can see, we have both subtraction and addition, so we would work the left to right rule. Okay? And then we have multiplication last. Now here, let's look at this one and try to decipher this one. The difference of 8 and 7. So your vocabulary here, difference, means to do what? Hopefully you remembered, subtract. Sorry, just a second. Okay. Subtract. So we have difference of 8 and 7 multiplied by 4. I'm going to put these in parentheses just so that I make sure I remember I'm grouping those together and doing those first. Okay? So we're going to do what's in the parentheses first. 8 subtracted from 7. I'm sorry, 7 subtracted from 8. And multiply then by 4. right? Okay. Okay. So let's just keep doing this, and we're going to just write what that should look like. So the product of 6 and 21 divided by 3. The product means multiplication of 6 and 21 divided by 3. There's two different ways you can write it. You can do this, or you can even do divided by 3, this. Okay? Either way is correct. And if you wanted to put this in parentheses so that you make sure you remember to do this together, you can do that as well. Okay? The difference of 20 and 2 multiplied by 6, difference, you're going to subtract 20 and 2, and then multiply by 6. Let's skip a couple of these for now. Let's see. Here we go. I wanted to get to these variables. Evaluate the variable expression when x is equal to 3. So, evaluate the variable expression when x is equal to 3. The first thing you're going to do is substitute this x for what? The number 3. So 10 multiplied by 3 divided by 5. Okay? 10 times 3 is 30. Divided by 5 is 6. Then, evaluate the variable expression when x is 3 again. 3x plus 9. The value of x now is 3. And we'll add 9. Multiplication and addition. Multiplication comes first, and then addition. And we have 18. All right. This is the last one we're going to do. Evaluate the variable expression when x is 3. Again, x is 3, so we have 4 here. X is 3, and we're adding 7. Multiplication comes before addition, so that's 21. Then we add 7, and we have 28. My mistake? Huh. I hope you all caught that. 12 and 19. Sorry, I was multiplying 3 times 7, but hopefully you all caught that. Okay? All right. So that's it for today. Go ahead and just make sure your notes are nice and neat. Look over them. Watch any part of the video again that you need to for clarification. And you'll have your little quiz tomorrow in class.